I recently caught up with the Higher Education Loans Board CEO about this very matter. And the conversation we had essentially was around the financing of, well, the TVET sector and the fact that a lot of these people go to higher education and, well, from training colleges right across the region, and their money was supposed to come from the budget, but essentially go through the Higher Education Loans Board. I started by asking him why exactly they had held a gathering to have a discussion on finance. Take a look.
So what you are doing is putting together all the technical colleges who offer technical education. Yeah. As you are aware, that Higher Education Loans Board is offering support to students pursuing higher education. And higher education, by definition, is anybody who is post-secondary education. Yeah. And so one of the key things we do is with our stakeholders. Last year we had the Universities Consultative Forum, yes. And this year now we are bringing the TVET Consultative Forum, yes. Where we bring the principals, the deans, the CFOs of those colleges so that we can discuss matters money. Yes. Now this year is themed around realizing the big four, as you're aware, that is what you're pushing, yes. But then through TVET financing. We are very clear in our mind, unless we fund the students who are pursuing TVET, then it means that we will not have graduates who are going to become enablers of this big four agenda, whether it is in health, whether it is in manufacturing, whether it is in industrialization, whatever that we are looking at in food security, that must be realized through enablers, and that those enablers will then be predicated on how many technical graduates you can be able to afford in this country. So today we found about 139 TVET colleges across the country, which are mainly the mainstream Ministry of Education technical colleges. You remember the government agenda is to have a technical and vocational college in every constituency by the year 2020, as you must have heard the PS talk about. But we are also in MTCs. We are in funding 85 KMTCs and also faith-based organizations who are teaching healthcare workers or nurses predominantly. And again, we fund them on an annual basis. For the 3.5 years they're supposed to be in school, and thereafter you give them 1 year to settle, and then they start repaying back the money.
Yes. So the question then for all of us, and I'll ask you to look at me, is why a forum? Why do you bring them together? Why do they have to be in the same place? Why do the stakeholders literally need to have a conversation this year?
So if you look at the way we fund our money, it has several components. There's money going to tuition. Yes. There's some money going to pocket allowance or accommodation, stipend, stationery, and all that. And so the CFOs, for example, must be clear on our processes of payment. For example, now the Cabinet Secretary has issued a directive that from next funding cycle, we must use the smart card technology. Now, that smart card technology, not every CFO knows about it. So you must be able to understand exactly what that means. Now, even for the ones who are on historical bookkeeping, then we require something we call HELB control accounts to be maintained well in the schools. We have also policy issues. For example, a policy now of putting some pocket money on the student of TVET is a policy discussion that was had to be discussed with the ministry before we then started funding. We also want to hear from the principals. What does it help? If I start giving money in the pocket, what does that help? So the issues on policy, technical, financial matters that then you need the stakeholders to come together and say, this is how we want to be governed. Just like you look at our 2010 constitution, we want to come together and say, yes, we have given this constitution to ourselves. So even as we start the next funding cycle, we need to say, these are the procedures and the processes we have given to ourselves, so that it becomes much easier for us also to follow up on the money that has been loaned to the students, so that the student does not say, me, I never received the money, so I cannot be able to pay the loan. Yeah. The only way we can be sure that actually receive the money is having a conversation with the faculties, having a conversation with the policymakers, that's the principals, and of course the finance officers in those colleges.